Shocking scenes are coming out of Paris, where French police have been caught on camera violently dismantling a makeshift migrant camp in the heart of the city. Dozens of small tents were removed from a main plaza where homeless migrants say they've been forced to live on the street. Volunteers could be seen joining them and linking arms when police attempted to disperse the crowd by using tear gas, chasing them through the streets, and even striking them with batons. Now, this violence comes as French lawmakers gave the green light to a controversial security bill, which opponents say could undermine the media's ability to scrutinize police behavior. France has seen large demonstrations this year against police brutality and alleged racism. Well, we have journalist Eduardo Q joining us from Paris to break this down. So first of all, break down exactly why we're seeing migrants sleeping on the streets in the middle of Paris. What's going on here?
Well, what happened is that last week, exactly a week ago, last Tuesday, the police broke up a very large camp of migrants, about 4,000 people. And while authorities say they found about 3,000 of those people, they found places for them to sleep in gymnasiums and other facilities, about 750 to 1,000 don't have any place to sleep. So with associations that defend migrant rights, they set up camps, those tents, in the Place de la République, which is a very symbolic place here in Paris. And as soon as they did so, the police went in there and, as you mentioned, very violently broke up the camp that had been set up, took up all of the tents, and used quite a bit of violence to the point that the Interior Ministry, who is in charge of the police, ordered an investigation.
Now, there's certainly been a decline in migration to Europe since 2015, when the Syrian civil war and other conflicts fueled a mass migration to the region. But there are still many asylum seekers living in precarious conditions across the continent. I mean, how many migrants and asylum seekers are living in France right now, and how has the government been dealing with them?
Well, the official figures date from 2018, and they say that there are 120,000 asylum seekers. That's 2 years ago. Without a doubt, it's much bigger than that. And the problem for the government is many of these asylum seekers have had their applications rejected. Others have their applications rejected in neighboring countries, such as Italy, but they come to France anyway. The government is trying to get tougher in expelling them. But the problem is that with the coronavirus pandemic, it's much more difficult for the government to do so. And many countries are very reluctant to take their nationals back.
Now, this latest report, these images of police violence, comes as the French government is moving forward with a new security law that would make it a criminal offense to post images of police or soldiers on social media which target them as individuals. I mean, doesn't this case show that a law like this would undermine police accountability?
Well, that is exactly what the opponents of that bill are saying. The bill itself intended to protect police because they have been the object of hate mail and even violence by demonstrators, by people who've seen them, who've seen the faces and were able to identify the police on social media. The government, given the opposition, including from the United Nations Office for Human Rights, has backtracked. And they have said only those images of police posted on social media with the clear intent of harming the police will be prosecuted. But in fact, I think one can safely say that the demonstration at the Place de la République last night was in part made to prove the fact that by passing such a law, the police would be able to pretty much do whatever they want without any kind of public knowledge of the violence of the police. The police here have been quite violent against the yellow vest demonstrations, and 3 policemen have been charged with murder in a killing of a food delivery person that resembled quite a bit the killing of George Floyd in the United States.